Welcome. This is Vince of vinceprep.com. I'll be making a series of videos about the INSEAD application. I'm an admissions advisor and consultant. I've been working in this field for over 10 years. You can find my results for INSEAD here on my website underneath my nose. As you can see, got my website over here. There's my results, and just scroll down and you'll find INSEAD. I have 10. So far this year, I've had one client get in. Last year, 3 clients. People are constantly applying to INSEAD, so those numbers continue to go up, hopefully year after year. But an average of 1 or 2 clients per year since I went independent in 2008 have been getting into INSEAD. INSEAD is definitely one of the most exciting stories of the last 10 years in the admissions, in the MBA world. It's a school that's consistently done a very good job of positioning itself, differentiating itself from top schools in that it's shorter. As you know, it's 1 year. There are 2 different intake cycles. The school is very flexible and has 2 different campuses. There's a lot of different reasons. If you're watching this video, I'm assuming that you know all of that and that you're already decided you want to apply to INSEAD, and I can help. The way that I help people apply to INSEAD is, as you can see on my website, I divide the application into different stages. I think it's a very comprehensive application, and I suggest people break it up into different stages and work on it in what I think is a very logical order. And in this video, I'll be reflecting that strategy and that advice. This first video, I'll be talking not about the essays, but actually about the profile pages. These are the application data forms where INSEAD collects a lot of information about you. I'm emphasizing these because most of my clients in the beginning don't think about them as being important, and they are. They actually reflect the admissions criteria of the school, and you should pay particular attention to them. I'm going to analyze 5 of the questions in this video in these profile pages. The admissions criteria of INSEAD, there's 4 of them: leadership potential, academic capability, international motivation, and 4th, ability to contribute to INSEAD. And you can find those criteria, those priorities of the school reflected in the questions that they ask here in these profile pages. They ask if you've applied before. I'll talk about that in a separate video in the reapplication essay that I'll be discussing separately. They ask you to talk about any gaps of time since high school which you have not accounted. So they want to know, have you taken time between starting university and finishing university? Did you take some time off, or did you change universities? Or since you started working, have you had breaks in your professional career? And just tell them, if you have, this is your chance to explain those gaps. And there's a separate essay I'll also be talking about in the job essays category. If you're currently not working, you have space to talk about that in a separate essay. As for test scores, this INSEAD is a school that specifies the percentile. They want to see you having a 70 to 75% range in both verbal and math. For GMAT, a little bit higher, 75 to 80% in the GRE. And I think it's refreshing for a school to be so explicit. They also say, though, that they make exceptions, and I know for a fact I've had clients get in there without 70 or 75% in GMAT, but it doesn't happen very often. And so that is the benchmark that they have set, that they want you to meet I wouldn't say as a requirement, but as an indicator of the school's, of your academic capacity. They also give you the chance to talk about academic distinctions, honors, or awards. And as they say in their admissions criteria, they consider the competitiveness of the institution you attended and your academic performance. So they realize that not you have an A average from a certain university in a certain major might be very different, might not be as impressive as a B average from a different university with a different major. They try to have a sense of the relative competitiveness getting into a certain school, and also the relative competitiveness and the difficulty of the grading scale at each university. And here in the application data forms, they're asking you to indicate academic distinctions, honors, and awards. If you have any such distinctions, honors, and awards, be sure to list them and let the school know about them. Anything like that is always impressive to a school, and if they give you the chance, don't forget to mention that kind of stuff. It can make a difference. The next question in the profile pages that I want to bring to your attention is the one where they ask you to list your most significant examples of international exposure that you've experienced, living, studying, working, or traveling outside of your own country. INSEAD's one of the only schools that I cover and track with my clients, that I'm really focused on with a lot of my clients, that specifically says, unlike, there is no top 10 US school that explicitly says international motivation is one of the admissions criteria. INSEAD does say so, and here they're giving you the chance in this short answer to list the most significant examples of international exposure. And as they say, they look for candidates with very strong international motivation who have perceptive insights into the complexities of business in an international setting. INSEAD is very explicit about this. They were looking for people who've worked or studied outside of their home country. And if you haven't ever worked or studied outside of your home country, that you've demonstrated in other tangible ways that you are comfortable interacting in diverse communities and are committed to pursuing a global career. So they're really explicit about this, and they want you to tell them here in this short answer, and later on, usually in the culture shock essay, an example of a time where you were outside of your comfort zone. I'll talk about the culture shock essay separately in a different video. It's a very important and unique essay for INSEAD, and it matters a lot. It's one of the ways that they look to see if you really are comfortable internationally by sometimes being uncomfortable internationally and getting over it and learning about yourself and how to interact with people effectively. The next short answer question that I want you to remember and to not forget to emphasize is to list significant extracurricular activities in which you have been involved, starting with your most recent activities, and they tell you explicitly sports, politics, performing arts, club memberships, hobbies, community activities. And second, they also, and as a follow-up, they give you another opportunity to list any distinctions, honors, or awards that you've achieved. So here's your chance to show leadership potential, which is their first admissions criteria. They talk about they want you to demonstrate exceptional maturity and outstanding leadership through your professional and personal experiences. And the last criteria, again, comes into play with this answer about extracurricular activities and honors and awards through those activities, where they want to know your ability to contribute to the INSEAD experience. They're looking for your personal activities. They want to know if you can contribute to INSEAD both in the classroom, but also outside of the class. It's a very social school. It's very short, it's very intense. You spend a lot of time socializing and building relationships with people in your classes, and they expect that you'll be a very active person, not just in the library studying, but of course meeting the academic requirements of the school, doing the work, and graduating with a decent performance, but also actively building relationships with people that will hopefully be a valuable career resource to you for the rest of your life. And so that's this here again in this profile page question. They are asking you to prove it. In other words, if you're active now outside of work, they assume that you'll be active in the future at INSEAD outside the classroom. So it's one of these examples where past behavior should be an indicator of future behavior. All right, that's it for the profile pages. Separate videos, I'll be talking about the job essays, those short essays about your current career and your career history. I'll be talking about the goal essay, short and long-term goals, and why INSEAD essay. And then also I'll be moving on and talking for those of you who are reapplying to INSEAD, I'll be giving some hints and tips. And then the other essays as well, one by one in these videos. My approach here is to talk about what I feel are the questions behind the questions, my assessment of why they ask what they ask. I'm trying to give some insight based on my experience, but I don't know the answers. All I can do is dig into the questions and help you think about them so that you can come up with your approach that will be unique and reflecting your true personality and true experience and true passion for INSEAD so that you can stand out. It's not an easy school to get into. We don't know the exact statistics. We assume 25 to 30% of the people who apply can get in. There are interviews as well that are required. It's a popular school among my clients, increasingly popular for clients. I even now have American clients who want to go to INSEAD, which I haven't seen that when I got started in this industry. So it really is becoming a global school in that sense as well. People from all over the world are starting to see the value of the degree. But it's not for everyone, and the application does take a lot of thought and attention, and that's why I'm here, to try to give you some insight that will make your application as the best it can be. That's always my goal. So thanks for your time and attention with this video. Stay tuned for the other videos that I'll be making on the INSEAD application, and I appreciate your efforts to do your very best. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye for now.